Margaret Hospital officials activated a mass casualty mode with doctors, nurses, and other support staff springing into action to assist affected persons impacted by the runaway truck on the parade. In fact, a number of nurses taking part in the parade were among the first responders on the scene. Jiminy DeSwain was a part of the press conference earlier today where officials provided an update on those affected.
I can confirm that 21 patients were treated at the Accident and Emergency Department. 3 patients went to the doctor's hospital and were treated there. And we can confirm that 2 patients were brought in dead directly to the morgue at Princess Margaret Hospital. We have a total of 4 confirmed dead from the incident. And the other patients in A&E be treated now. Some are still actively being stitched, getting x-rays, getting CAT scans. 2 have injuries that are serious enough that they have to be admitted to hospital.
Hospital officials say that other victims were treated and later discharged. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands made it clear that the hospital was not in a state of panic, but instead stuck to its protocols.
There was never, ever a situation where things were not very much under control. From the time of the incident, doctors, nurses responded, even in their grief, to care for the victims. We have some challenges because a number of the nurses that were on the parade would have witnessed and participated in the resuscitation and management of the victims. And so they are traumatized.
The health minister admitted that services may be impacted Friday night. However, he says those nurses will be provided with the counseling they need. Labor Minister Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes expressed sentiments on behalf of the Prime Minister, who is off island.
To say that the nation is in mourning and that we feel the pain of every Bahamian. This is a tragedy. To my knowledge, something like this has never happened before.
Minister Fowlkes also became a bit emotional as he recounted where he was positioned on the parade when he learned of the tragedy.
Both Bernard and Obi and I, we were marching around with British Colonial Hotel. And Superintendent, I think Rule, came and informed us about what happened. And we were just shocked. We didn't know what to say. We cut off all the music on the parade and instructed them to play spiritual music, which they did. We canceled the rally at the fish fry at Awaki.
President of the National Trade Union Congress of the Bahamas, Bernard Evans, explains that the Financial Services Union was directly impacted by the accident, but he asked Bahamians to pray for the driver of the truck involved.
And lastly, for the young man, the driver, let us all see. I know where he's at. Can't be in a good place for him as well. And let us just come together and pray.
Next Labor Day, we have to put some stringent rules in place with respect to these vehicles to make sure that they are fit to be on the parade. We will work with the commissioner.
Jiminy DeSwain joins us live from the Princess Margaret Hospital tonight with an update on their role in this tragedy. Good evening, Jiminita.
Good evening, LaDawn, and good evening, Bahamas. We're here live outside of the critical care block at the Princess Margaret Hospital. And as you can see from a few minutes ago, that was the situation earlier today. Now joining me live is the Medical Chief of Staff, Dr. Caroline Burnett Garraway, who will provide us with an update on the latest in terms of the care of those patients here at the hospital.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Since I spoke to you last, we've had 8 more patients come into the Accident and Emergency Department. Some of them who are actually nurses that were on the parade and were traumatized with minor injuries. They've all been discharged except for 1 patient who's still being assessed. Of the 3 that were more critical, 1 patient went to the operating theater and she's now stable and on the ward, and the other 2 are resting comfortably. So we have stepped down and things are back to normal in the Accident and Emergency Department and the hospital.
Well, thank you very much. That is, of course, the medical chief of staff here at the hospital, Dr. Caroline Burnett Garraway. But also joining us live here outside of the critical care block is, of course, the hospital administrator, Ms. Mary Walker. Good evening, Ms. Walker. Can you update us on the containment and management of the tragedy here at this hour?
Yes, further to what we would have said earlier, the teams all reacted appropriately to the protocols that we have established for incidents such as this. And that's from the EMS personnel, Princess Margaret Hospital staff with the doctors and nurses in the emergency room, the surgical teams, and our support staff in the lab, imaging, and also autopsy services. So everyone would have done as they should have done in an incident like this. And I must say that we are in a position where we can say we thank them for all of they had done today. They went above and beyond in a lot of instances to make sure that we were able to respond appropriately today as we are trained to do.
Now, can you speak to the staff numbers, whether or not that issue has been addressed? As we heard earlier from the health minister, he indicated that there would need to be some adjustments based on the fact that some of those nurses were, of course, on the parade earlier today.
When we came to that realization, we immediately started to reach out to those who were possibly off, and we have covered those shifts for the night and into tomorrow that could have been impacted by some of those nurses who just made themselves available and acted promptly. So yes, we are in a position where no care will be impacted. We've got those covered with persons who could come in.
And finally, can you also speak to us about any services that have been implemented or extended as a result of managing this tragedy here?
Yes, we have extended the operating hours of the blood bank this afternoon. They will be open until shortly after 7:30 to take all those persons who can possibly donate blood at this time. And tomorrow the blood bank will be open again for extended hours at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we will be in a position to take blood from persons willing to come and donate and help us to continue to serve our persons here who come for care. And again, all of our services that are normally open during this time, which are all our diagnostic services, shall continue as normal.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walker. That is, of course, the hospital administrator, Ms. Mary Walker, here at PMH. Back to you, LaDawn.